My name is Michael Trigg. This is Saba Baptiste, and this is No Losses, Just Lessons podcast. Saba,
Yes.
what do you have for us today?
Well, today I thought we're going to talk about how we tie everything in, all the previous podcasts. We're going to talk about how families thrive.
Okay.
You know, what ingredients, elements, what take place at a home to make strong families. And we also, within that, we're going to talk about, you know, the NIL, name, image, and likeness, too, for the people who are in professional sports, whether it's collegiate sports and the rest, whether it's basketball, football, or track and field, all sports, right?
Yeah, I got some information about that. And I got 2 kids right now.
Okay.
That's Power 5 guys that's benefiting greatly from NIL.
Okay. So I guess I want to pose a question. Do we know what makes healthy, thriving families in the community, in the Black community? Do we know that?
Well,
and have we followed that?
I guess when you say in the Black community, you know, and it's just what makes good, healthy families.
Okay, but
And I know.
right, we talked about us as a community from previous episodes.
Right. So the family dynamic, it got to be led by the parents, mother and father. They have been one accord. I've said that from day one since we started this podcast.
Okay.
And starting this podcast, my vision was solely for the purpose of understanding of the family dynamic.
Right.
And I'm gonna throw some names out for you just to back what I'm saying up.
Okay.
When the family dynamic is at its best,
Okay.
the family soars along with the children. My great friend Kevin Knox and Michelle Knox, they have 4 kids,
Okay.
all who are doing exceptionally well. Kevin was drafted out of Kentucky. He's a McDonald All-American from Tampa Catholic.
Okay.
Kobe went to Grand Canyon out of Tampa Catholic.
Okay.
He later transferred back to USF. He got a great NIL deal. Carter, McDonald All-American, was going to Kentucky where his brother went to school, but followed Calipari to Arkansas.
Okay.
Played at overtime prep last year, had a great, I don't know the finances, but it was a good deal for him.
Okay.
Ashley Knox is the baby girl. She's highly recruited. She's probably gonna go to Louisville.
Okay.
But their family dynamic, Michelle and Kevin, they figured it out because Kevin Sr. is tough. Mm-hmm. And you know, Mike played for him, and I coached alongside him, and him and his son could be at odds. You know what I'm saying? But Michelle knew her role for that family. Okay. You know, because every kid wants a way out. So they got the mom and the dad. The dad's coaching, educating, whatever. They can do the education together. But they don't live with that mom and dad tripping. So Michelle could have easily said, yeah, he tripping for real. That's nonsense. Don't do that. Your dad is pushing you to be the best, baby.
Right.
And once they realize there's no way out, they buy in.
Right.
And when they buy in, they go to the heavens.
Right.
That family right there, man, I see them vacation all over the country. It puts a smile on my heart because I know they did it right.
Exactly.
Kevin was tough. He don't curse. He's just hardcore.
Right.
Then I got the Sharks. That's my favorite basketball family. You know what I'm saying? They got they got 4 or 5 boys and 1 girl too, and all of them shoot the ball exceptionally well. Their dad, Derek, played at USF, played overseas for 20 years. The mom played. She's a Hall of Famer in Toronto, and they just got a great dynamic.
All right.
And they push each other. But the star of their family was Emmanuel. He loved his dad. That's his best friend. So anything his father would tell him, he's going to do, but he loved his mom as well.
Right.
But so and they soaring. He's the face of Houston basketball right now.
So they grew up in families that have a balance, right?
Yes.
With strong mother, strong father, strong mother, and they protect their kids and by supporting each other. And so when everything works well, you get those type of products, right? So all of them are in college. So let's explain to the audience what is NIL, because it's relatively new to some people.
NIL is name, image, and likeness. Kids are now able to get paid on that. So the bigger you are in collegiate sports, the more money you can make off your name, image, and likeness. I see it two ways: the pros and cons. I like the kids getting paid because they should, because the schools make millions, billions off these guys and girls. So, but I still think that they need to be structured because right now, if you have a great year this year, somebody can come to you the next year. Say you play Kentucky this year and you average 30 points. Well, UConn can come say, man, Kentucky gave you $1 million, I'm gonna give you $3 million. Come over here and play for me. You got to cut that out. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is right now. It's open market. So they're going to come with. It came so fast that they weren't prepared for this transitioning into what it's transitioning to right now.
Right.
So now they got to go back and say, okay, we have NIL. We got to put certain stipulations and certain things in place for it to be functioning. It won't hurt college sports.
Right.
It can only help.
Okay. So right now you're saying that if a student commits themselves to one particular university and another D1
Power 5 school.
Power 5
D1,
school.
okay.
Right, a Power 5 school come in and offer them more money, they can leave that school and go to another school.
Yeah, it don't have to be a Power 5 school. If they got the money, they got the money to do it. They can say, hey man, we want you over here, and if you want to go, we're gonna give you this right here. You give it to them, and they can just up and leave.
Okay, so when we talk about the NIL, what comes along with that? Is it scholarship? That's separate, right?
Everything. So when you have a scholarship, NIL has nothing to do with your scholarship. The scholarship pays for your tuition, room, and board.
Okay.
Books, meals. Okay, so that's something totally different.
Okay.
Okay, so NIL's over here, scholarship over there.
Okay.
So I'm just giving numbers. My mom's an Ole Miss scholarship was $1,500 a month, and they get the Austin money, $3,000 a semester if you have 2.0.
Okay.
And that covers pretty much all the tuition is paid. That $1,500 can go for an apartment. How do you want to use it?
Right.
You know, so stuff like that. Now the NIL on top of that, that's something totally different.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
Don't have anything to do with anything.
Right.
GPA, you gotta maintain a GPA to be eligible.
Right.
So so it's not like the NIL's tied to academics.
Okay.
It's not.
So are the scouts that identify these particular student sportsmen, are they coming from the university or they are just people in the community? How does that work, you know?
I'm not understanding the question.
Okay, so who recruits now? Is there a different type of recruitment?
No,
or everything's still the same?
Everything's still the same.
Okay.
They got recruiters for each university.
Okay.
Each position group go out and they're assigned to recruit their position.
Okay.
You know, and so when you get them there, now you can go out there and say, hey, look, we want you to come over here. I know you top 5 in your class. You top 100. We can offer you NIL on top of the scholarship.
Okay. Okay.
That's how competitive it is right now.
So nothing have changed, just the money have come in there
That's
now.
it.
Right.
That's it.
But that means that there's a lot of change with the money.
Right.
Right. And
Right.
so is there a regimen of scheduling for them in terms, because one of the big things for sports is college sports is like a job.
Right.
So now are they putting, like you said?
No, it's nothing has changed. You know what I'm saying? So only thing about it is, okay, so if I've given you an NIL deal, I might need for you to make an appearance.
Okay.
You know, come by, sign some jerseys or something.
Okay.
You know, that can be part of your stipulation package or whatever, you know.
Okay.
But, you know, it's all in the details.
Okay.
Like camps, when you go to camps, when you do a camp, they'll pay you to come in and do a camp now.
Okay.
You know, when before they couldn't. You know.
So how do they protect their asset? If nothing have changed and they're giving you this NIL deal and they don't have any rules or anything around it, how do they protect their asset?
I know Ole Miss does a really good job. University of Georgia does a really good job. They have what they call the collective.
Okay.
And the collective, when they pay these guys NIL, they pay their taxes for them. So they don't have that problem.
Okay.
So Ole Miss and Georgia, they have, I think everything from the SEC have a collective, you know, that does that. And then, you know, they have agents now. So the agents really, when you're a big time guy in college sports, the agents go out and get you NIL deals. And they get 3% of that. However, if you get your own deal, they don't touch the money.
Okay. So tell me more. You know a lot about this. You have professional, collegiate, professional athletes in your family. Your children are one. How, from this point to, going forward, how does that help you in terms of monitoring the situation and make sure your kids do not forget the real purpose behind it? What do you do in that arena?
So I'm gonna be quite honest, it's hard. You know what I'm saying? Because and I'm not discrediting, I'm just gonna speak on Mike, but it's hard, to be honest with you. The Knoxes, they are doing fine with the NIL. That money is multiplying, right, as we speak right now.
Right. It's going to go into generational wealth. Right?
Sharks are doing well right now. That money is multiplying. You know what I'm saying? So with Mike, and Mike's raised in a two-parent household, but we went on one accord. That's the meat and potatoes that is so different. I did a lot, but the fact that his mom wasn't on one accord, he tends to your mom said, well, you might want to talk to your dad about this right here. If that was the case, I got it. I'm gonna do it. You need help, Mike? No, I got it, Dad. That's all I can say. Mike, you need help with that? No, Dad, I got it. I'm straight, Dad. I said, okay. You know what I'm saying? And he really needs help. So I love my son. I always be there for my son. But the fact of the matter is, it's an opportunity that he can set himself straight right now for the rest of his life if he allow me to help or get the help that he needs. I don't have to really help him, but he has to have somebody around him that can tell him, hey, you need to be doing this, this, and this, and he need to listen.
Yeah.
So
somebody completely in his best interest to help him move through that process.
But when you the big dog to your friends, you know what I'm saying? Lions trouble with lions. I ain't never hung out with a hyena.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
I got guys that I call, they call me. We checking about each other every day. Torrance Williams, Renzo Payne, Otis Wells, Anthony Hall, James Reddick, Brian Holmes. I can go on. Shannon Owens. These are my guys I came to school with. We became brothers. And if I'm doing something wrong, they're going to let me know.
Right. So are you saying that's not always the case? That's taking place now?
No, that's not, man, because sometimes when you get that money, everybody run to you.
Okay.
And, some people like being that big dog, you know what I'm saying? And really it's overrated.
Okay.
I've been that guy all my life.
Right.
With no NIL, but I wasn't, that didn't make me.
Right.
I value friendship and relationships and want to help people all the time.
So tell us a little bit about you, how you came through the ranks, what be the big difference? Of course, it's no NIL, but you're quite a legend in your own time from your college days. Give us a little bit of background on that.
So with DJ, my older son, Mike, I worked them out the most. And I just believe in not working people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's so crazy. My collegiate coach just passed yesterday. God bless the Porter family, Coach Doug Porter. He died at 94 years old.
Wow.
Yesterday, so I got the text message yesterday from Wildcats. And I can remember when I got to Fort Valley State, we had to stand up and introduce ourselves, tell where you're from. And I said, my name is Michael Trigg from Tampa, Florida. I'm the starting receiver. And that was, so I was a freshman at Fort Valley State.
Right.
Tyrone Poole, he said, what, you started at the high school you coming from? And my response was, no, I'm starting here. I've seen you guys on film. I'm here to help.
Right.
And Coach Porter thought that was the funniest shit ever. He turned red. He was big, like tall, 6'5", light-skinned guy. He turned red. But that was my mindset.
Right.
I'm coming. I never came to do anything to be second.
Right.
And I ended up starting, and I scored 6-7 weeks straight. And but it was hard work. So we had curfew back in those days. So when you get curfew, you can't get caught out. You don't have any repercussions. So my coach called me out one night, and he thought that I was sneaking out with a girl or something. I had my bag with me, but I just left the football field. And he coached Mother. He said, "What you doing out?" I said, "You got to run some hundreds." He said, "Why?" I said, "I got to be the best." He thought I was lying. So he said, "What's in your bag?" I said, "My cleats." when I opened the bag, you can see the smoke come up, and I had to take him off. He took a step back, like, damn. He knew that I was really, my mom did in the projects, so I was trying to get to the pros. You know, so that was my focus, you know, to try to help my mom.
That's a key. Stay right there. Do you think the kids today have a focus like you? Like, you know, if you, and not to be personal, just any kid that have come from meager beginnings.
Mikael Williams, that's my son, my baby, right? He bought his mama a house already.
Okay.
With his NIL.
Okay.
He bought a house in Greensboro, Alabama.
Right. Okay.
He understands the assignment.
Right.
You know, so you know, it's just Mikael was raised in a different environment than Mike. He wasn't spoiled.
Right.
He was more raised like me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, Mike, I invested over $500,000 in my son, so he had no bad days.
Okay.
But he worked his ass off.
Right.
But in some kind of way, when me and his mom kind of went this way, that way, or whatever, and he just, I don't really know.
Right. So. NIL, what comes after college? What is they're preparing to do after college?
Going to the pros.
Okay.
And Kel right now, Mikael Williams is, you know, some people, they got him going first overall in the NFL draft next year.
Okay.
You know, Mike has the opportunity to work his way back into the first round. You know what I'm saying? Or first and second, third round. Either way, they're going to both have opportunities to play on Sunday.
Right.
And, you know, and I'm telling you, man, if Mike Trigg figured this shit out, he gonna be a real problem for guys on Sunday. Because he's always been the best. He's a phenomenal athlete.
Right.
And when he figured this shit out for real, it's gonna be scary. You know, I pray for my son every day. But Mikael, he's a little bit more grounded, because it's where he comes from. You know, the same bloodline. You know, when you see them together, you'll swear, you know, seeing them about 6'5", 6'6", it's scary when they walk in the building. You're like, damn, you know? Yeah, so, but yeah, you know, you just gotta
spoken like a proud father.
Yeah, I am. A proud father of both of them.
Right.
You know, it's your own journey.
Right.
It's their journey.
Right.
And that's what, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what NIL, I think, hurts a little bit.
Okay.
Like when I talk about, I was trying to get to the pros to take care of my mom. Well, when you have NIL, you know what I'm saying, you can do some things with that right now.
Okay.
So you got to really be wanting to play on Sunday, because when you get this money, are you going to really keep going hard now? Okay. The great ones do. The great ones do. You know, so, you know, Mikael and Mr. B, and Mike really had Mr. B, he just, you know, opportunities, different opportunities. Mikael went to the right school, and Mike did too, went to Southern Cali and fired his coach. So now, it's like a scramble. You go to, you know, we went to your dream school, they fired my coach, and they bring another coach that recruited me to play another position. So, if Mike had his way, he would love to be at Southern Cal, but it just didn't work out in the cards that way. So now he's at Baylor. He's gonna kill it this year, though. I already know.
Okay, so when we talk about these professional athletes already in college, and they are the product, they are their own product, they're capable of earning and making a tremendous amount of money even before they leave college.
Right.
And so with that, how is that money, how would you perceive it being taken care of? What would they use it for in terms of furthering their life? And, you know, where would all of that money go to? And is there a system in the schools that helps them?
So they got financial literacy courses. Most schools. Deion Sanders did a real. One thing about Deion, he tried to educate his players the best way he can.
Right.
And what he does, he brought girls in and tell them all the game. When we come to a city, we've already looked at your Instagram, so we know what you like. Right. So he brought this big time girl in, and she told them all the game they wanted, so they can kind of wake up, don't fall into these traps. Man, Deion had financial literacy courses at Jackson State, so he does some good things. Right. You know, he tried to educate us as a whole.
And more of that needs to happen, right? Wherever.
But Saba, I'm the type of dude, I hold the parents accountable. Okay. Educate your kids.
Right.
You know, educate your kids, and that's what it has to be. It's not nobody else's fault if your kids mismanage his money. If Mike mismanages his money, it really falls on the upbringing that he had from him and his mom. Maybe he saw his mismanaged money. You know, that's I gotta take some of that. You know, I could have been probably a little bit different with it.
Okay.
Dating too much, you know.
Okay, so what does the coaches? How does the coaches approach this now? I know you've seen it behind the scenes.
But the coaches really hate NIL because players make more than the coaches, unless the head coach.
Okay.
You know, it's hard for you to tell a kid to do something. And I make more money than you. So you know now, how you gonna listen to that kid? You know, you gonna go to the head coach? He's your star athlete. It's just, you gotta have some stipulations in this NIL, and they don't really have it yet. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna be, you know, they're gonna come back and redo some things about it. It's here to stay, but they're gonna have to change some things, put some stipulations in place for it to function for college sports.
I guess I asked you this before. What would this do for generational wealth? Because that's something that we have all talked about, you know, generational wealth. How would this help and elevate the process going forward?
I'm telling you, I answered that question already. The Knoxes, that money is working in their favor for generational wealth right now. The Sharps, when you're on one accord as a family, that's when it works for generational wealth. When the mom and dad can say, no, you're not buying that car, no, you're not buying those Gucci slides, no, you're not doing this money's going here, here, here. You're gonna sit here for X amount of dollars, for X amount of time, and then we'll see what you can do with it in the next. That's when it works for generational wealth. When you got kids that got that money and don't have nobody to answer to, they don't respect what nobody else say, it don't work, Saba. It don't.
Okay. So there you have it. We just discussed the NIL, and if you know Michael Trigg, you know he's very close to that, and he knows a whole lot, and he's actually living through it and experiencing it. So we want to make sure that everybody understands that we have a potential in our community to have these superstar athletes, and so don't be caught off guard. Let's make sure we understand what the NIL can do for our lives.
Not only our lives, but for the community at large.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, it don't take a lot to lift somebody up and bring somebody with you.
Right.
You know, if you care.
Right.
But that's not everybody's responsibility. You know what I'm saying? It depends on how you wire.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You know, like, long as my family, long as my immediate family straight, I'm straight. That's how some people think that way.
Okay.
Me personally, I want to see everybody do well for themselves.
Exactly.
If I can help.
So how have you, I think you have a long record of helping the community, but do you know of any assistance from the NIL group? How have they come back and helped the community with, you know, because they're very young, so can you speak to that? Can you tell us if that NIL translates back into their community where they came from?
Well, I can tell you right now, Mikhail had a football camp probably a month ago. He has another one coming up sometime the second week in June. So he is giving back to his community from age 8 to 13. It's a free football camp. I don't know if he's giving them cleats or what he's doing, but I'm pretty sure he has some of the sponsors from his NIL partaking in help with this camp. You know, so, and that's the closest I can tell you about bringing it back to the community. You know, Mike did a good thing before school was out. He fed the whole school pizza at his mom's school. So that's a form. If he wouldn't have been able to do it, he could have without the NIL. You know what I'm saying? You know, it just he's trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So he said, "Dad, we're gonna try to feed my mama's school pizza." I said, "Well, let's do it." You know what I'm saying? And they did it. So and for those kids, you know, that's big to them. You know,
that's big.
So I mean, with those two things right there, you know, that's a start.
You know? So in the community, we have a lot of children. Their hopes and dreams is to play football. do we have systems in place to help them find their way, whether it's any sports?
So, you know, I'm trying to tell you, you know, my answer is not going to change.
Okay,
You know,
well, let us.
That's on the parents. The parents are the first coaches. The parents are the first teachers in education. So if you got kids and your kids show you interest in certain sports, then you push them to greatness.
Yes.
And then when they get to Little League and you see how they playing versus their peers, if they pop out a little bit more, you're like, okay, well, maybe it's a little different.
Right.
You know? And then you can say, well, okay, maybe I have something. Now you start to go into sacrificing to getting the best training.
Okay.
You know, and then once you get into the best training and you see steady rising, then you're like, okay, well, this guy in a few years is going to be on the scene to have a great potential to have a great life, to fulfill his dream.
Okay.
He's going to be a professional athlete. And I'm just telling you, that's what I did with Mike. That's all I did. We worked out. We had older brothers, DJ and Shane. We did push-ups and, you know, started playing football at a young age. He couldn't play when DJ and Shane was playing. He'd be to the game. He said, all he needs is a helmet. I just need a helmet. He pointed his head. I just need a helmet. Just so he protect his head. But when he got on the field, he was ready. You know, DJ and Shane pushed the shit out of their little brother. You know.
Okay, let's not leave the females out. What you know about our females? What's going on with our young sisters who coming through that dynamic?
I was truly blessed. Maya, I had my 3 girls in Hillsborough County. I don't think it's 3 sisters that scored more points than my daughters.
Okay.
They probably got 3,500 points
Okay.
in Hillsborough County. Maya, Ayana, and Brianna.
Okay.
And Strawberry Crest. You know what I mean? They were super athletes. Maya ended up playing at ACC a year before she went to the Navy. Mm-hmm. Well, Maya should have went to Mercer in Macon, Georgia. And the twins went to Shelton State and they ended up finishing up at Central Arkansas. Okay. So they were D1. All of them really D1 girls, you know what I'm saying? It was tough. Okay. Maya was like that at the point. And real competitive. And Brianna was a scorer. It's funny to see them on the court, you know what I'm saying, together, you know what I'm saying, because Maya's a big sister, you know what I'm saying, and Yanni was just solid.
Yes.
She was, she didn't say much, but her presence was felt on the court, you know.
Okay.
You know, but Maya was, when they was in high school together, Maya was the engine.
Okay, great. Yeah. So I think we're going to end this session on the how does a family thrive? What are the elements in the family that makes it thrive, and the NIL.
Right.
So you want to add anything to that, Mike? The last bit before we close out this session.
I just think that when the family dynamic, you got to be on one accord. From the father to the mother down to the youngest sibling.
Yes.
They got to come and support the older siblings, and the older siblings got to support the younger siblings. And when you do it that way, it's a hell of a family.
Yes.
That means it's a hell of a family. And then NIL going to be NIL. But when you are a family that's rooted together, everything happens for the good of the order. And NIL will be a blessing. Yes. And not a curse.
That's right. Yes. And so thank you. This is No Losses, Just Lessons. Saba Baptiste.
Mike Trigg.
And we'll see you next week. Thank you.
On the yo.